Welcome to Get in the Guide with David. I'm Debbie Timpson, one of the Growing Minds program coordinators with ASAP, which means Appalachian Sustainable Agriculture Project. I'm also here with Gwen Hill, another one of the Growing Minds program coordinators. And of course, with David Smiley, the local food campaign program manager. He's here to tell you about the local food guide and why your school should get in the guide. So without further ado, take it away, David.
Thank you, Debbie, for that wonderful introduction. Yes, I'm David Smiley, ASAP's local food campaign program manager, and we're going to try our best to help your school system get in the guide. This presentation will give you a rundown of that process, and of course, we are available. If you go through this process and still have questions, please do give us a call, send us an email, and we're happy to help you walk through it on a one-on-one basis. So without further ado, let's get into this. You probably have a good grasp of who ASAP is. We're an Asheville-based nonprofit. Our mission is to help local farms thrive, link farmers to markets and supporters, and build healthy communities through connections to local food. So in short, we're all things local food. Let's see here. There are 3 departments to ASAP. So if you ever receive emails or calls from different departments or have questions, this little quick diagram here might help you understand what's going on. In large, you probably work with our wonderful Growing Minds team, Debbie and Gwen and Emily. They're your first point of contact. I work in the local food campaign represented by that Appalachian Grown logo on the left side of your screen. We provide directly technical assistance and resources to farms, farmers markets, and partner businesses. That includes restaurants, school systems, value-added processors, wholesalers, grocery stores. Anyone who's buying at least some local would fall into that partner boat, as well as making local food just as accessible as possible for communities across our Appalachian Grown region. You'll work with us a lot and accessing your local food guide listing, creating local food guide listing, which is a pillar of our work in the local food campaign, as well if you have any farm questions, if you have any buyer connections, you're looking for farms to provide a certain product, say tomatoes or sweet peppers. That is one of the big services we provide at no cost for our partner businesses, which school systems are included in, is that we can help you to connect to farms that meet your requirements and have the products that you need. We also have a local food research department. You probably won't work with them too much, but if you ever need data on local food or food systems, they're your go-to resource. And this is the region we serve. We call this our Appalachian Grown region. We have our Appalachian Grown brand to the left, which denotes that. And it's also our definition of local. So it's 100 miles around Asheville, and it includes 60 counties in total, 23 in Western North Carolina. So we also have a little bit of Southern Virginia, Eastern Tennessee, upstate Georgia, and upstate South Carolina as well. So if your school system is located in this region, you can be included in our online guide at no cost. And so there might be some confusion around this. We do have 2 guides. We have an online local food guide and a print local food guide. The online local food guide contains everybody that we work with that's across the Appalachian Grown region, across all those states that you saw. So that includes over 850 farms, over 350 partner businesses, and 100 farmers markets. There's absolutely no cost to be in the online guide. And for many folks, it's a pseudo website, if you will. It helps increase your online presence and helps you connect with your customer base as well. It's a really powerful searchable database that we update every single year, every single listing, every single year, to find farms in your area that have the specific offerings you need, say specific products, agritourism services such as U-Pick or farm stands, farms that offer farm field trips, which you might be interested in, farmers markets that are close to your school systems, restaurants sourcing local, or school systems that are sourcing local. And we'll delve more into that in a bit. But this is a backbone of a lot of what ASAPS does. And because we work with so many folks, we personally as an organization use this to more quickly find the right businesses that we need for specific tasks or farms for the same reason. So it's our searchable database as well, and you being in here really helps us out a lot. We also have this printed local food guide, which is a subset of folks who are in the online guide, and that being because it does cost a little bit of money to be in. And for school systems, it's $100. For farms, it's 30. But this might be a good way to advertise what your school system is doing as well in terms of sourcing local. So not required. We really just want y'all to get in the online guide, and from there, if you want to be in print, that's your option as well. So this is a quick rundown of some reasons why to create a listing in the online guide. One, as just alluded to, it serves as your application to become an Appalachian Grown partner business. And an Appalachian Grown partner is just anyone within the Appalachian Grown region who's sourcing at least some locals. You're working with at least one local farm. Once you become an Appalachian Grown partner, you're just formally, and it's totally free to become an Appalachian Grown partner. It's the same process as creating a free online listing. That formally connects you with ASAP. You're already connected through Growing Minds, but this will loop you in with the local food campaign as well. So anytime we have specific resources for farms, partner businesses, services for partner businesses, when we're looking for buyers who are a good fit for farm products, say we have a farm who contacts us with a ton of, I don't know, sweet corn or sweet peppers or beef, and they're looking for a school system to connect to. This is, again, it's our searchable database for quickly finding those businesses who are a good fit. Also, we do a lot of promotions within the local food campaign and ASAP. So having you in there helps us with those promotions and increases your chance that we can help promote the good work you're doing. Connects to farms for local purchasing. Again, you being in there allows us to identify who might be a good match for a farm and vice versa. And finally, bring attention to your work. Y'all do fantastic work. You know, working with local farms takes a little bit of effort, and we want to promote that you're doing it. We'll show you in a bit how we can do that. But by having an online local food guide listing, you can directly show those farms that you work with. We can build those relationships so your students can go on there and see, oh, they're working with perhaps KT's Orchard. Let me click on her listing and we'll dive into this bit and learn more about our farm. And we're deepening those community connections, and we're just tightening everything up and building a stronger local food system and building relationships within our community as well. So again, you're doing this good work, and we want to do our best to promote what you're doing. And so I think without further ado, let's jump on in, and I'll give you a tour of how to use this thing. Let's see here. And so this is our online local food guide, and it's at appalachiangrown.org. This is the front end, and this is what everyone who logs into the guide sees. It's also mobile friendly, so if you want to access this on your phone, you can do that as well. And so I'll show you how to use this kind of from a individual standpoint, as just a person who's out there looking for local food, as well as a school system who might be looking for farms to purchase from. So again, it's a really powerful searchable database. So say you are a family who is looking to do some strawberry U-pick. We're not too far away from strawberry season. In some regions, we're already there. So we'll click this actually advanced search button right down here. U-pick's an advanced search option. See here, we'll click Appalachian Grown Farms. We'll pick our region in which we want to pick. I want to pick strawberries in the Central Mountains. And then let's see here, we'll pick that U-pick option. Let me see here. Where are we? There we are. Oop, sorry. And we'll go ahead and hit search. Oh, and I forgot one thing. Let's see here. Let's try this one more time. And search options, Appalachian Grown Farms, U-pick. We want to look for a specific region and a specific product, strawberries, and hit search. And there we go. We have all the farms in the Central Mountains, so Bunca, Madison, and Yancey County, who are offering U-pick strawberries. So your farm can come in, find a farm, let's say Flying Cloud Farm here. This is what a farm listing looks like. And find all about that farm. And if we come down here, we can find out information about when they offer U-pick, which is really fantastic. So coming back to the front end. That was a very brief tour of one very specific thing. We can also just search for farmers markets. So I want to find a farmers market, say in Buncombe County. Farmers market, Buncombe County, hit search. And we have all the farmers markets that are happening in Buncombe County. A great way to connect your school system to local food and many cross-promotional opportunities there. So click on Black Mountain Tailgate Markets listing, and we can find out what day of the weeks they're happening, where they are, the farms that are at those farmers markets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So again, a really powerful searchable database from just the consumer end. For a school system who is looking for farms to search from, we can get a little bit more technical in this. Some systems require GAP certification depending on how large your school system is, and some do not. So we'll go through that in just 1 second. I know GAP certification is a big hang up for a lot of folks. And that's located under this advanced search options category, again, right down here at the bottom of the screen. So we'll go ahead and click that again. Appalachian Grown farms, growing practices, GAP certified. And again, we'll just do the whole state of North Carolina because there aren't as many GAP certified farms, and hit search. And there you go. We have 33 GAP certified farms in Western North Carolina that might be a good fit for your school system. And again, ASAP as an organization can help you hold down your search and find farms that are a really good fit for you. But I know a lot of y'all work with Brasstown Beef. They fall into this GAP certification, and you can find more about their farm here, as well as contact information if you're interested in sourcing from them. So coming back to this homepage again, now let's dig into what a good school systems listing looks like. And again, free to create a listing, takes only about 30 minutes. We'll get into it in just 1 second, but I want to show you what a good finished product looks like. And I believe we can also search by school systems right here. If we hit this more button and hit institutions, and there's one in particular that I'm trying to find, and I know it's in Haywood County, so we'll hit search, and this should pull it up. There we go. It's Haywood County Schools. So if we come into their school system listing, this is what a good finished local food guide listing looks like for a school system. We have a description about what they do, some contact information. ASAP is takes privacy very seriously. So what information you want to have out there, we will, and what you don't want to have out there, we won't. Link to your website to help push interested consumers and students that direction as well. And this is the most fun part, is who you're sourcing from. So again, to be in here, ideally, we need to be sourcing from at least one local farm. ASAP can help with that, help make those connections. And if you plan to source local because you're a school system, we can probably bend the rules a little bit, I think, Growing Minds team. Get you in here, and then get to work on those local sourcing connections if you're truly committed to it. So again, for the students, for those parents, we list on here what we are sourcing locally from the school system, within the school system, and it's apples, and they're coming from KT's Orchard. And again, this is what I talked about in deepening those community connections, educating your students, educating those families. We can click on KT's Orchards listing. KT is fantastic. We have a description of her farm business. And what's awesome is KT also offers all these opportunities to further engage communities, not just through the cafeteria at your school system. We can take this a step further. So they have a roadside stand that families can go and visit. They are at a farmer's market. They have online ordering, and they sell to a few restaurants as well. So there's always different ways to engage your families, your students. And again, we're deepening those local food connections. And again, you're doing this good work. We should add value to it by educating our student base. Let's see here. Again, they also offer farm tours. So there's the opportunity to search the guide again for those farms who might be a good fit for field trips as well. Let's see here. This is a little more complicated, and we'll look on the back end as well. Because our school systems are so big, or many of us are, there's also this wholesale section of the guide. And this is what the wholesale listing looks like. Again, got to it by just clicking this view our wholesale listing button here. And so for farms that are interested in selling to you, this gets into some of those requirements, some of those buying sourcing details that are imperative to forming a good relationship. So best person to contact, type of packaging, how many customers, students you have per week, cases of produce, and a big one for a lot of us out there, those required certifications for your vendors. So GAP certification and $2 million in insurance. Again, ASAP is happy to make these connections for you. But for farms navigating the guide themselves, and we do encourage farms to search the guide to make those connections, this really helps them out a lot. So without further ado, those are just a few of the search functions of the local food guide that you might use. I would encourage you to come in here, explore, connect with your food system, search all around. It's really a good time. But we'll go ahead and get into how to create an online listing. That's what we're all here for your school system. So again, we're at appalachiangrown.org. We'll click this Get in the Guide button in the top right corner. Great. And we'll enter your school system's email address. And I'm just going to use what I believe is a fake email address for right now. And create a password. Great. And one tricky part is you do have to enter it one more time. So that essentially creates you as a user in our system, put it in again, and it'll let you in. All right. And so we'll go over here to this green button right here, and we'll click Add a New Business. This gets the process started. And creating a local food guide listing is just a bunch of kind of interview questions, detailed questions about who you are and what you do. So let's see here. We have a farm name, say ASAP School. You can add in your school's website, the school's Facebook page, Instagram page, etc. We do need you to put an address so we know where you are. It's one of the key requirements of our buyers is they need to be in that Appalachian Grown region, and this is the way we verify it. So we'll just say ASAP Street. And these are all the requirements for our partners, farmers, etc., for using the Appalachian Grown logo. It looks intimidating, but I assure you it's not. Give it a quick read over, and you'll be just fine. We're friendly at ASAP. We just want to make sure that the logo is not being abused by folks that are not truly local, not sourcing local, etc. Nope, our website was incorrect. We'll just leave it out. All right, so that was the first step, and that creates what we call the business side of things. There also is a listing, so please keep going in these interview questions. This is where what trips up a lot of folks. The first time you log in, it's not super intuitive, but I assure you, once you log in just one more time, the process is really, really simple. So keep going on these questions. We have ASAP School. That's our local food guide listing name. I would advise you to put in either a phone or an email, whatever you're comfortable putting in. So I'll just put in a fake phone number here. Let's see here. I am an institution. I am a school system. This gives you the option of being in the print and or online guide. It defaults to the online guide because it's completely free, and we'll just run with that. I would advise you to put in a school system or a description so we know what your school system is doing. ASAP's school system, sources only, local produce. Something to aim for, I don't know. We'll keep going there, make sure it fits your school system. Again, we have our physical and mailing address. You can choose to show that publicly or not. Again, totally up to you. If it's not shown publicly, it's just for ASAP's use, which is very, very helpful. Here's your listing photo. This is where you can upload a photo or logo for your school system, completely optional, but does make your listing look nice. And the key step to all of this, we didn't format our phone number the right way. Let's go over running into all these issues so that when you run into them, you'll be better prepared. Let's see here. So we'll format it correctly as it asks us to do right up here at the top of the page. All right, we're through. And so a key part of this is just to hit save and continue, save and or continue at the bottom of the screen every time. And that helps us progress through these questions. As you can see here, we have these tabs at the top. So if you forget anything, you can always click back to a tab. So I'm going to go back and change my listing address information. We'll click forward. Clicking save and or continue will help you progress through these questions in the logical order and make sure you're not skipping everything. Primary contact. Again, if you want to add that, you can. I would advise it, especially just for ASAP to use, if nothing else. So it helps us better understand who we're talking to and better serve your school system. So first name, got this, and your title, ASAP. All right. And I will actually choose to display that. We'll hit save. Nope. Again, they got me with the phone number thing. All right. And if you ever want to check out to see how your listing's coming along so far, you can click this preview your listing button. And what's neat is we can check out what we had so far. So this is kind of the listing in process. You can see what we've done so far. And this is what users will see, students, families, etc. will see when they log on and search for your school system. What's also nice about the online guide is that so many people use it that if anyone Googles something close to your school system's name, it'll help it to populate a little bit higher in Google searches as well. So just increasing that internet accessibility, which is a good thing in this digital age. All right, we'll go ahead and click continue. All right, this is the long list of Appalachian Grown farm products you provide for sale. With school system, we know that you're probably only sourcing 1 or 2 ingredients that are local, and that's totally okay. And this is a good opportunity to specifically call out those ingredients. So let's see here. Perhaps we're sourcing apples from KT's Orchard, and we're sourcing beef from Brasstown Beef. I've heard we're making some good nachos out there with some Brasstown beef. So hopefully my school system is lucky enough to have that. We'll go ahead and select those. This is the really important part. This is how we tell those stories, how we promote the good work you're doing. This is the section about purchasing local foods where you can highlight those relationships. So we have direct from area farmers, from tailgate markets. Most school systems probably aren't sourcing from tailgate markets unless you're a smaller school system, perhaps a preschool, perhaps a private school. That's an opportunity to add it in there. And from local distributors as well. I know many of us work with distributors and we want to call out those relationships too. So I alluded to them earlier, but go ahead and add in our sourcing relationships here. And if they're in the guide already, the ghost text will auto-populate. We can go ahead and click that. And we'll add one more, we'll add that Brasstown beef in there. Make the Whitmires happy by calling them out in the guide and building those relationships. Go ahead and click save and continue. Fantastic. And again, just to check in to see what we just did on the front end, this is really neat. We've added these in, those connections. And if you click on them, again, we're deepening those connections. We're tying our school systems to those farms. We're deepening those relationships. Okay, coming back. Okay, we're on the details tab now. Again, we got here just by clicking save and continue. It's asking us about our online ordering options. These probably don't apply to your school system. So read them over. We create this local food guide listing to serve a lot of people. So there might be sections that don't particularly apply to you. If they don't, just leave everything at no and keep on chugging along. So no's. Would I like to be a seller? We were talking about the wholesale guide earlier, which is great for connecting to farms for those wholesale, those big amount purchases, big volume, lower prices purchases. Do we want to be a wholesale seller? We do not. Because we're not a farm. However, I do want to be a wholesale buyer in the guide so that farms selling in large volumes can find me and understand my requirements. And so we don't need to fill all these out right now. I'll let you do that on your own, but we'll go through some of these questions. How many customers do you serve per week in the summer? Let's just say 200. Cases of produce, go ahead and skip that. Fill in as much as you can though, as it is very, very helpful. And so what products would you like to buy from local farms? Well, we're already sourcing apples and beef, but man, oh man, would I like to get some collards into my school system. And I would also like to get some tomatoes. Who doesn't like tomatoes? So we'll put that in there. And again, in ASAP's world, that helps us so much for figuring out who needs product and what's a good fit. If you have anything specific to your school system that would help a farm, put it in here to let us know. Best buyer contact, select contact. It's me, it's David Smiley. Best time to contact, Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. All right. How many locations we need to receive a delivery? I know some school systems are more complex than others in terms of their delivery and food preparation systems, but I just have one location, so we'll put a 1 there. Do you require any type of certifications of your vendors? So I'll say I require GAP certification, if any of you do. Vendor approval process, if there's any specific to your school system, add it in there. And packaging, do you want your packaging to be standard or informal? And I'll go ahead and put standard packaging as well. And I don't have anything else to add. We'll go ahead and click save and continue. All right, that's everything. We're done. That didn't take too long at all. So again, we can click this preview your listing button. We see what we have here. From ASAP's point of view, in terms of how to improve this listing, we did it pretty darn quickly. A picture would be great, just to add a little bit of professionalism and to help this listing stand out. And yeah, there could be a little bit more details to make this listing more dynamic, but in terms of bare bones, what we need to get you approved, this will be it, and we can start working with you and promoting the good work you're doing. So yeah, not too painful at all. Coming back here, we'll close out that preview. Once you're done, this is a fairly important step. Go ahead and click this green mark this listing complete button. If you don't do this, we'll still get you approved to be in the online guide and approved as an Appalachian Grown partner. But when you click that, that literally sends me an email. It says, hey, David, I'm done. I'm done with my listing. I want to be part of the Appalachian Grown program. Get me involved. And so I'll go ahead and approve your listing. I'll send you a nice email and your listing will appear publicly once I've done that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. We won't see on the front end yet because as an admin, I have to still approve it, so we can't find it on the front end. But one sticking point is like when you log back in, you'll probably end up in the business dashboard, and that encompasses everything here. And so again, when you log in, this is probably what you'll see. And this is what trips a lot of folks up. So if you want to add in a lot of the questions on your listing, a lot of that information is down here in the listing section, not the business dashboard. The business dashboard only contains like our website, Facebook information, et cetera, et cetera. The bulk of the information is underneath the listing. And so what you need to do to get back into that listing to edit something, say like, ASAP helped me make a great connection with a new farm. I want to add them in. You'll click this green edit button down here in the right-hand corner, and that'll take you back to what we were looking at before. Again, you can navigate by save and continue at the bottom, or do some quick navigation up here by clicking across tabs. We can go back to the details and buyer tab and quickly add in that farm information. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I have. Not a difficult process. When you first log in, it might be a little intimidating. I'll give you a heads up about that. But I think you can easily master it. And if not, I, David Smiley, or Debbie or Gwen are available to just hold your hand through this process and make sure you get your school system online. So with that, I'll turn it over to Debbie. Gwen, do y'all have any questions?
Thank you, David. It was very thorough. So if they need to contact you, could you give your contact information one more time?
Yeah, sure. And let's see here. I'm sure we'll type this up somewhere, but my email is david@asapconnections.org. So David at ASAP connections, so connection but plural.org, david@asapconnections.org. And go ahead and call the office. I think it's probably the best number for now. COVID times makes things a little tricky, but that'll get to me. So 828-236-1282, 828-236-1282. That's our main ASAP office number. And from there, you can get redirected to Growing Minds. If you want to talk to Debbie specifically, or Gwen, or myself, all of our phone numbers are available in that directory when you first call. And hopefully in the not too future, you'll call and you'll talk to a person right away. And we'll be back to normal. Yeah. Yep.
Well, thank you, David. Gwen, do you have any questions?
I do not. I think it was a really thorough presentation, and I look forward to helping more school systems and preschools and childcare centers get into the guide. So thank you, David.
Awesome. Well, thanks so
Thank
much
you.
for helping me share this knowledge with our school systems. And yeah, guys, don't be shy. This is what we do for our jobs, and we want to make sure to help you out as much as possible. So give us a holler.
Bye.